Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's show. Um, on the show today, we've got some fairly interesting news stories that I think you'll find most interesting. One of those being, could we see a female lead in the role of a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Keep listening to find out. Another one, as well, is that there has been revelations made about it online, specifically through Twitter and talk about it. Um, but another one is Marvel Studios has no plans to make a third Deadpool with Rob Liefeld. And seeing as the Series 7 premiere of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just a week away on Wednesday, um, I thought I'd address something that is probably playing on everybody else's mind, and that is the snap that happened in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. How does that affect the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series? All that and more, plus music from Peter Gabriel and that famous Space Odyssey theme that you've probably spent years looking for online and could never find. But that's on the way as well. So, starting off today, we have the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot moving forward with a female lead. This information is with thanks to the DisneyInsider.com, which I will leave linked below. Back in 2018, reports surfaced that Disney was set to reboot their blockbuster franchise Pirates of the Caribbean. Since then, fans have been wondering what would that mean for Johnny Depp's Captain Jack Sparrow. Well, I can say I don't expect him to return. According to insider Daniel Richman, the studio going is in fact going the reboot route and are currently looking for a female lead, and one name at the top of Disney's list is to lead the reboot is Avengers Endgame and Jumanji The Next Level star Karen Gillan. This is something I can also confirm, as I've heard rumblings of Gillan as early as last fall. As of now, it is unknown if the actress has had any formal talks with the studio, but the studio is definitely interested. Another piece of information I hear is that the studio is also considering women of colour for the role. Character and story details are being kept under wraps. Though fan speculation will go wild now that Gillen's name has been mentioned. There could be a possibility that the film will look to be centered on Red, the popular female pirate featured in the Disney Parks attraction and is a meet and greet character. Back in October, Disney tapped Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin and Ted Elliott, who wrote the previous Pirates films, to find a fresh new direction for the franchise. Jerry Bruckheimer and Chad Oman, Pirates of the Caribbean National Treasure, will produce. A director has yet to be picked, but Disney has several names they've looked at. I won't share the names as I've heard for now. I'll save that for a future scoop I've been working on. The budget on the film is north of $100 million and is being made for a theatrical release despite rumours of a Disney Plus series. Though Depp's involvement has yet to be addressed by Disney, this is indeed a reboot, so it is unlikely he returns. Back in 2018, president of Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures Production, Sean Bailey, spoke to the Hollywood Reporter regarding the reboot and avoided the question of Depp's involvement. Here's what he had to say. We want to bring a new energy and vitality. I love the Pirates movies, but part of the reason Paul and Reed are so interested in that is that we want to give it a kick in the pants, and that's what I've been tasked with. The Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is one of the most financially successful of all time. The 5 films have grossed over $4.5 billion at the worldwide box office. The last movie, Dead Men Tell No Tales, ended up making $794.1 million worldwide for the studio, dominating the Memorial Day weekend in 2017. This, of course, was none of my words and was, of course, the words of Skylar Schlur for this Insider. So, is it entirely possible that we could be seeing a female lead as early as whenever they decide to put the reboot into action? Um, and is it entirely possible that Gillen is in talks at the moment to reprise the role as the kind of main lead in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise? It is entirely possible. However, we have no other details as of that yet. When we do, I will keep you updated. But first, some music from Peter Gabriel. and that was Peter Gabriel with Sledgehammer. Now, as you know, the seventh season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premieres on Wednesday, the 27th of May, which is about a week away from this Wednesday. And if you haven't done so already, please check out my reviews of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series so far. You can do so by clicking the card up in the info thing that's about to pop up, or you can alternatively visit the link to the playlist in the description. Now, given the events of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame in 2018 and 19 respectively, and the massive, I suppose, snap that happened within those movies, is it entirely possible that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were affected by it, or will the idea of the snap be addressed in the seventh and final series? Well, according to MCUcosmic.com, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. final season might address the snap. It goes on to say, ever since the previous season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't explain how the agents dealt with Thanos and the events of Avengers Infinity War, some have used that omission as another excuse to try to claim that the series isn't part of the MCU. Well, now one of the people involved with the show has hinted that the final season will address the events of the last two Avengers movies. In a tweet from March, VFX supervisor Mark Kolpak says to wait for Series 7 to see what happens about Snap. There has been a plot leak circulating from 4chan for a while that says the season will address that. The leak claims the season is broken up into mini arcs, beginning with the first episode where they were in the 30s and have to save Hydra in order to save S.H.I.E.L.D. The leak goes on to hint that the agents are in a timeline where Thanos at one point vanished along with his army, possibly the 2014 one from Endgame. That and the Confederacy has been using his name to intimidate people, as we saw when Thanos was mentioned. It goes on to say when the agents return to the normal MCU timeline, it's during the 5 years of the snap. Some of the promotional footage and art have backed up things that leak claimed. And now this comment from the VFX supervisor hints that we'll see the snap addressed, so it's possibly true. And if so, that's a pretty good explanation as to why the show wasn't affected by Infinity War. So realistically, looking at this article and looking at the footage that was released before Series 7 was even in the run-up to the release of Series 7, it is entirely possible that they could address the snap in some way, whether it's directly addressed, or whether it's kind of slightly put to the side but addressed in some smaller way. At least this series will get to the point where we finally understand what happened to the agents during that time and if they've been affected by it or not. The final series of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starts on Wednesday the 27th of May on ABC. A UK premiere date for that series has not yet been announced, as the Channel 4 and E4 schedules are usually made up for only 2 weeks, so we should expect an air date maybe the beginning of next week or the end of maybe the week after. So it is entirely possible that we could see the snap addressed. If not, which is entirely possible looking at footage, that they could be because there's time travel involved. The snap could have some sort of involvement with the time travel. Given the events of Endgame and Infinity War, I would highly suggest that it is possible that they will address it. But moving on now to Marvel's news about Deadpool. Marvel Studios has no plans to make a third Deadpool with Rob Liefeld. This, of course, is from Jeremy Conrad, who, of course, runs the MCU Cosmic website. And here are some details. Over the weekend, multiple stories came out with quotes from Rob Liefeld claiming that Marvel Studios had no plan for Deadpool. That's despite the multiple times that Disney's Bob Iger and the writers of the Deadpool films spoke about the future plans for the franchise at Marvel. There is a production grid circulating that confirms there is a Deadpool project in the works at Marvel with Kevin Feige and Ryan Reynolds listed as the co-producers. This grid has been out there since December, when Ryan Reynolds revealed on Live with Kelly and Ryan that they were at Marvel working on Deadpool. Rob Liefeld isn't listed anywhere on this production grid. Let's just look at all of the Marvel Studios Deadpool evidence that's out there. Last December we have a video of Ryan Reynolds on a national talk show talking about working on Deadpool at Marvel. Yeah, we're working on it right now, and with the whole team. We're over at Marvel now, which is like the big leagues all of a sudden. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, we're working on it. Then you have the multiple quotes from the writers who, while promoting Zombieland 2 last year, confirmed that they were working with Marvel on an R-rated Deadpool. And of course, you have all the times that Bob Iger reiterated that the franchise would remain R-rated even at Marvel. So you have a lot of evidence sitting there on the table that provides people that people are conveniently ignoring to push a quote or two from Rob Liefeld. All of the evidence points to Marvel working on a new Deadpool movie, but it doesn't look like Rob Liefeld would have a seat at the table in the way he may have when Fox was making the movies. So there you are. Marvel is working on a third Deadpool movie with Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Feige as co-producers, and by the looks of it, Rob Liefeld has no involvement in the project whatsoever. So I hope that just clears up some air in the room about that. I think this story is still developing, so I'll be sure to keep you updated on that. But now, seeing as we're all stuck in quarantine, here is a version of the Friends theme, but done while in quarantine, and it's fairly funny, so give it a listen.
Told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's remote, you're broke, you're hiding from the plague. It's like you're always stuck in quarantine, and you might be there a day, a week, a month, or even a year. But I'll be there for you, washing my hands all day. I'll be there for you, standing 6 feet away. There for you, 'cause you're there for me too. You're still in bed at 10, your boss got you at 8. The old guy brings you breakfast, things are going great. Your crazy uncle's been saying for years, the apocalypse is coming, so stay home, keep watching Netflix. But I'll be there for you, surfaces. I'll be there for you, never touching my face. I'll be there for you, 'cause you're there for me too. No one could ever know me, no one could ever see me. Seems you're the only one who knows what it's like to be me. Someone to face the day with. as we win. I'll be there for you to make sure grandma's okay. I'll be there for you so grandpa's dancing every day. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me.
And that was the Friends Team Quarantine Edition. Now, looking at this, some of the restrictions were lifted yesterday. Here is what's up and running from yesterday, obviously. So, construction sites and outdoor work, garden centres and hardware, car, bike sale and repairs, office and electrical places, and opticians, optometrists, hearing and specialists. Up to 4 people from different households could meet outdoors if they live within 5 kilometres of each other and maintain social distance. Golf clubs are reopen, and face coverings advised on public transport and in enclosed spaces like shops. So that's what is up and running, as in from yesterday. But now, it's probably the most searched thing on YouTube when you're trying to find a piece of classical music and you can't find it. Well, just to be dramatic, here is the 2001 Space Odyssey theme. Now, this is a theme that I've been searching around the internet for ages and only managed to find it on YouTube about 2 months ago. Because as we know, it's widely used in the Forza. It's widely used in the Forza franchise on their games and the music and all the timeless classic FM things. It's also used in films, used in movies. Specifically, I think the beginning of the Simpsons movie. And I've been trying to find it for ages and I couldn't. So here is the 2001 Space Odyssey theme. Join me again next week at the same time for some more news, entertainment, and some classical music, where we'll be discussing more in depth the more entertainment stories of the week, as well as what to look forward to. But until then, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fantastic comment, for more fantastic productions like this. Next week will probably be, we are on episode 7 of 10, which means after this one, there's only 3 more episodes of this series to go out, and I'll have more news in the next few weeks about a possible second series, and we'll see where it goes from there. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and of course in the near future. And share the video on social platforms if you like it. This of course will be going up on my Instagram page as well as my YouTube page this evening. Or I'll probably release it at different times depending on what mood I'm in. So I won't ramble on too much longer now, but if you enjoyed it, please give it a like, comment on the channel, and or on the podcast episode, and tell me what your favorite bit was, and tell me just tell your friends to subscribe to my channel and to give you more content like this. But until then, thank you very much for watching and listening for that matter, and I'll see you again next week in episode 8 of the House of Cards podcast.